Hello, and thanks for tuning in to this episode of Accumulated Knowledge here on PureMTGO.com. I'm Joshua Clater, and as you look at me and try to ignore the fan noise from my tower, you'll see the deck that we're going over today. It is Turbo Fog. It is a lot of fun for you to play, and not a lot of fun for your opponent to play against. Let's go ahead and break the deck down. I guess the first part to this is we'll go ahead and break down the fogs. We have 9 fogs in the main. We have 1 original. We have 4 copies of Moment's Peace. It has flashback, which is great, so you actually get to use it twice. So technically, instead of 9, we have 13 copies of Fog. And we have 4 Respite, a Tempest common. Prevent all combat damage that would be dealt this turn. You gain 1 life for each attacking creature. Fantastic stuff there. Not only do you prevent damage being dealt to you, but you get to add some life to manage your resources a little bit better. To maybe where you don't have to keep fogging and fogging and fogging. The next part of the deck is, well, the actual win condition. We're winning with Jace's Erasure. This enchantment says whenever you draw a card, you may have target player put the top card of his or her library into his or her graveyard. Simple enough. How can we abuse that? Well, we have accumulated knowledge. We draw a card, then draw cards equals to the number of cards named accumulated knowledge in all graveyards. So you draw 1 off the first, 2 off the second, 3 off the third, and 4 off the fourth, if you see all 4. So we got 4, plus 3, 7, plus 2's 9, plus 1's 10 cards off the top of their library. Then we have Tolarian Winds, which is an instant speed. Discard all the cards in your hand, then draw that many cards. That'll trigger Jace's Erasure a lot of times. Brainstorm. This could be a... This goes into 2 different slots, actually. But this Brainstorm, you draw 3 cards, and you put 2 cards from your hand back on top of your library. It helps find the erasures, and it helps mill 3. We have Arcane Denial as our protection. You counter target spell. Its controller may draw up to 2 cards at the beginning of the next turn's upkeep. You draw a card at the beginning of the next turn's upkeep. So it triggers Erasure, and then you'll get your regular card draw to also trigger Erasure. Also, the art's by Richard Kane Ferguson, which makes the card amazing. So we've went over the fogs, we've went over the win condition, we've went over the actual cards that help win the game, we've went over our protection, and the last little bit of stuff in the deck, we'll go ahead and move Brainstorm over here. Stuff that searches for Jace's Erasure. We've got Preordain and Ponder. Probably the 2 of the 3 best deck manipulation spells in the Pauper format. They also trigger whenever you draw a card, the Erasure. We have Muddle the Mixture, which is a neat transmute card from the original Ravnica. You see that its casting cost is 2. It transmutes and goes and gets Erasure. Pretty neat, right? This deck is a long, grinding control deck that looks to get an early Erasure out, draw some cards, mill their library out, and then fog their attacks. This deck is naturally strong against decks like Green-White Slivers, Stompy, creature heavy mono red, so we're looking at like goblins. It's okay against the mid-range, and it's okay against the control decks because if you're on the play, you can slide Erasure in underneath counter magic. It's not great against Delver. It's not the best against Blue-Red. And I would imagine that it's pretty okay against Rugtron. Let's go ahead and look at the sideboard. We've got a couple of reclaims. They're in there for the control matchup if we need to get our Erasure back or a counter spell back. We've got a couple of extra fogs. They're good against the aggro decks. We've got Hydroblast, which is of course good against Eye Candy, and it's good against the red decks in the format. I bring them in against Affinity for the Fling combo, because Fling doesn't really care about Moment's Peace. We've got the Spell, which comes in against Control. We've got Curse of the Bloody Tome, which apparently is going to become a card that I play in everything that I ever play in Pauper. But we've got it as well against Control. So, Curse, Dispel, Reclaim. We're bringing in 8 cards against Control. We're more than likely taking out our Respites, our Fogs. We're keeping our Moment's Pieces just in case. We're keeping our Counter Magic just in case. So there is 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. And really, I don't like Tolarian Winds against Control matchups. So that would be the 8 cards that I would take out against your Mono Black, your Mono Blue Control, stuff like that. Against Burn, we're obviously bringing in the 4 Hydroblast. We still want our win conditions, and we still want our counter magic. If it's a creature heavy burn, we're gonna keep in Respite and Moment's Peace, because we're gonna need the life gain back. Against Burn, I think maybe the best card to take out is Arcane Denial. Yeah, it counters a spell, but you don't want to give them 2 extra spells to burn you with. So let's bring in Arcane Denial, or let's take out Arcane Denial, bring in Hydroblast. We'll bring in a couple of the spells because they're so instant heavy. Maybe take out the Fog, maybe take out a couple of Tolarian Winds. These are just examples of stuff that I would do. I'll have an actual sideboard guideline on puremtgo.com when this article goes live on Monday. But with that said, this was a look at Turbo Fog and Pauper. I hope you enjoyed it, and I hope you were able to put up with my fan noise. I appreciate you watching, and if you have any comments or questions, please feel free to let me know in the comment section here or at puremtgo.com. I'm Joshua Claytor signing off. Thank you.